Hey, what's up you guys? It's IAmTheLionRider, and your boy is up bright and early today because of some flash flooding that happened this morning. So after quickly vacuuming up all the water that kind of flooded my basement, I thought, hey, it's time for some speculation slash DLC news, because I think it's about time that I finally kind of addressed the elephant in the room, which of course is we're definitely getting a next DLC very soon. I know some other people have already started this, a few weeks ago and stuff, but I think now is definitely the time to kick it into high gear to actually talk about the next DLC. So let's just jump right into it because it's pretty obvious what it is. So it's almost certainly North America. Even before, there was any type of credible leaks about it or any type of maybe deleted tweets, there was definitely some news that it was likely going to be North America, just because it makes the most sense. We had all other repeating regions like Asia and Africa, and North America would be the next logical conclusion. So what are we actually going to be discussing today? So what I'm really interested in is we've had a lot of different either fake leaks or seemingly credible leaks or seemingly, just a common sense speculation type deals and stuff in the past revolving around North America. But what's really interesting is for the first time out of any DLC, I am totally in the dark about the animals, and that is what I am really, really interested in. So I'm just going to start off this video discussing the history of leaks in the past for Planet Zoo, because Planet Zoo has had a very shady history with this. So way back when the very first beta of the game released, there was already leaks. The entire base game roster technically leaked before the game even came out. People were data mining, they found all the animals that were going to be in the base game, and that news spread quickly. So we basically knew all the animals for the base game right off the bat. So leaks are not like a new thing by any metric. They were around since the beginning of the game. If you want to go even further back, they were around for both JWE and Planet Coaster as well. Similarly, Arctic Pack, we actually also found there was files or whatever that were associated with polar bears and stuff during the beta. And spoiler alert, we got polar bears in the Arctic DLC. Now, South America, I actually got to give them props, a little clap there, because South America actually didn't have a single leak. It was common sense, because everyone was like, where are the jaguars? We obviously know there's going to be a South America one. And turns out there was. But technically, no official leak or anything like that. Australia, we had that very infamous Twitch streamer leak where the person decided to just, under NDA, or breaking NDA, decided to just stream all of the Australia DLC, and then we got that amazing emoji out of it because she just had no idea, and then we get that little Frontier post being like, hi, I'm one of the devs, check your DMs, and then she just immediately goes, uh-oh, and then just shuts the stream. It was the greatest thing. So, carrying it over, we have, of course, the Aquatic Pack, which I would say is the biggest official leak we've ever gotten. So, Aquatic Pack was interesting because it was Frontier themselves who leaked it. So, they basically made a video that people found, and I covered it on my channel. It revealed the king penguin, giant otter, and the gray seal right off the bat. And then similarly, if you're talking about Southeast Asia, that same leak also confirmed that we were getting sun bear, which means that we were technically getting the Southeast Asian news about 6 months before that one came out. So that was really interesting. Actually, I think it was only 4. Of course, then we get to the very famous now Africa leak, which was from yours truly, where I was accidentally working on modding work, and then I just found the files. I accidentally data mined it, and so Africa got revealed with all of the animals and theme. And now, of course, we are at present day, where we are discussing North America. And while there have been leaks about the theme of North America and maybe the free features and stuff from a certain community member who I'm going to not name because I actually do believe they are very credible with their comments, and so I don't want them to get in trouble, we are getting some things that are seemingly going to really please some people. And it's not a traditional theme either. I feel like a lot of people were expecting like a log cabin theme or maybe like a Pueblo Native American theme. But the theme I think that we should be getting is going to be very, very interesting and favorable amongst the Planet Zoo community. But animal-wise, nobody has a clue. So that's what we're going to discuss today. So what I wanted to start off with when discussing animals are the animals that I think are definitely going to be in this pack without a shred of doubt. So the first animal, of course, is the mountain lion. Specifically, I might toss in, it might be a subspecies, / maybe it's not even considered a subspecies, like the Florida panther. Now, why would it be that? So I think mountain lions represent the continental North America the best. They are one of the few large animals that actually represents all 4 quadrants of the United States, and they kind of bleed into other areas like Canada and even Mexico and stuff. So obviously when we think of California, for instance, or the West Coast, mountain lions are very prominent there. When I visited San Diego, there's mountain lions everywhere because mountain lions are very common in the West Coast. Up north, where I live, in the Northeast, mountain lions are very popular in areas like Maine and New Hampshire and stuff, and especially in Canada. Then in the South, obviously in Florida, you have the Florida panther, very popular. So I think it's one of those animals that no matter where the theme takes place or what it is, whether it be a bayou or like the West Coast or Northeast, it would fit in pretty much anywhere. And so I think that is a good reasoning for why it would be a common thing. Not to mention, big cats, obviously they have the rig already, so that's a plus in that regard. Similarly, it would have new sound effects and stuff, so it would be a unique cat. And of course, you have the perspective of it just being a pretty notable North American species that people would enjoy. So I think for all of these reasons, mountain lion is basically confirmed. So the second animal that I think is a definite, only because with an asterisk that if it's not definite, that means that we are definitely getting an aquarium pack. And that means California sea lion. So obviously when the aquatic pack came out a few months ago, it was almost a year ago now. But when it came out, the lack of a California sea lion in that pack really threw everyone for a loop. They're like, "What? How did you do an aquatic pack and miss out on sea lions?" We did get a seal, but we didn't get a sea lion. So everyone was questioning why this was the case. Now, if we do get North America, of course, California sea lion is an excellent choice to represent North America. Not to mention, it gives everyone an excuse to buy the pack if one of the staple animals that I think people were expecting might not be in this pack. So the California sea lion obviously would represent the West Coast very well. It would represent North American aquatic animals very well. And it's just the kind of icon of zoos, whether it be, the New York zoos, like the Bronx and stuff, that have them in their sea lion pools. Basically every zoo that is notable has or has had sea lions in the past. So I think it's pretty safe to say that California sea lion is definitely a likely possibility. And if it's not in the pack, like I said, I would bet on aquariums heavily, because that would mean that they would be saving that for a dedicated aquarium pack. So now I am going to get into the maybes of this pack. So some of these picks are maybe not what you'd think. So a lot of people might think right off the bat that this pack is clearly going to target the Northeast United States. Beavers, raccoons, stuff of that nature. I actually highly doubt that. I think if it's anything like we've seen with the other continent packs, they're either going to specify a specific region, which could be, like the Florida or like California, or could be like Canada or something, kind of in the vein of Southeast Asia, or they're going to do what Africa did, where the animals kind of pull from all over the continent, regardless of actual location or theming. So Africa obviously had the Moroccan theme, and then they threw in a bunch of South African animals, and technically I don't think any of the animals, other than maybe you can stretch the fennec fox, kind of fit Morocco. All of the animals were basically South African, so we had stuff like an Egyptian meerkat or a mosaic tile thing for a rhino or like a mosaic for a penguin. None of it really made sense, and it's sort of the same thing that I could see happening here, where whatever the North America theme is, let's say it is like a Pueblo theme or something, we're probably going to get like a bunch of weird things like Pueblo alligators and Pueblo moose or something. And so I think the animals that we could be getting, if we look at like mountain lion and sea lion, they're both from the California region. So it is very possible that we could be getting some stuff that is maybe a map that's more based off the West Coast, which maybe in my head reads, maybe we should do stuff like collared peccary as an example, because that would represent like a kind of deserty vibe, which might fit a little bit better, even though it's not a super common animal. And then the other thing is it represents Mexico quite well. So obviously, when we think of the North America pack, it was always the USA pack, but obviously Mexico and Canada are also in this vein, so it would represent obviously Mexico quite well. So I definitely think that would be interesting. Next up, something that could represent Central America. Maybe we get a howler monkey or something. I know it seems a bit far-fetched, because why wouldn't you put that in South America? But technically you could make the argument that since it is Central America, that is technically continental North America. So I think that is a possibility. Now, of course, we have to get to the big one, the staple boy of North America, which is the moose. So obviously, I love moose. I absolutely love moose, and I really want them in the game. However, there is a lot of points against moose being included in Planet Zoo for a few reasons. Obviously, the pros of moose are they are an icon of North America. They are no doubt about that, an icon. And then, of course, you have the Zoo Tycoon boost. They were both in Zoo Tycoon 1 and 2, and basically every other, zoo sim in the past. However, if we look at actual modern-day actual statistics about moose, they are very rare in zoos. And even though some zoos have them, they are incredibly difficult to take care of. They have little to no conservation value, which I think is a big thing that Frontier likes to go after. And just in general, they aren't super interesting animals relative to other animals of a similar, like, I guess, kind of animal. So you can look at a moose in a habitat. They are very difficult to take care of. They are going to be very shy, and so for all of these reasons, I would say that maybe they would go with an animal that is similar, but maybe a little bit more prominent, like a Roosevelt elk. So elk obviously are not nearly as identifiable as a moose, but they're definitely a very well-received animal within the Planet Zoo community. People want our big deer species, and so I think a Roosevelt elk would be a good compromise to the omission of the moose, where it basically fills the same niche, but it's a little bit more, I guess, practical. So that is my logic for that. The next animal that I want to talk about, of course, is the American alligator. So I think there's pros and cons for the alligator. So obviously, alligators are a very, very popular North American animal. I think they represent the United States better than most actual animals that represent the United States because they are exclusively found here. The American alligator is strictly American. And so what I think is really interesting about them is they are technically a different type of crocodilian. So I see this as a pro and a con. So they are a new type of crocodilian, which would mean we'd have 4 types of crocodilians in the game. We'd have a caiman, a gharial, a crocodile, and an alligator. However, this could also be a point against the alligator. Because we already have 3 other crocodilians, another crocodilian could be very, very detrimental backlash-wise. I don't think it would, because I feel like most people are on board with alligators being different enough. But obviously, from an outside perspective, if we lost something like a moose or a beaver or something in favor of an American alligator, well, then maybe people would be a bit more upset. So I think alligator is likely. Also, you have the obviously Everglades perspective. If you want to look at it from a conservation standpoint, the Everglades is obviously a very, very economically in danger area of the world. Very, very prominent within conservation values and stuff. Everyone always talks about the pythons and tegus taking over. So alligators, obviously, or Florida panther, would represent this message quite well. So I think for those reasons, alligator is definitely a maybe. So I'm now going to discuss the animals I don't think are likely for North America. So right off the bat, I want to get out of the way all of these small, I guess, domestic species that are essentially pests that you would just see running around your yard in the Northeast or something. So that covers possums, raccoons, porcupines, animals of this nature. They are found in zoos, but I don't think that they really have any value within the zoo game when we're talking about a very limited roster that is supposed to represent North America. So as much as I'd love a North American porcupine, it would be different and stuff. I don't think it would be the place to put a porcupine. I feel like if we were to get a porcupine, it would be in a later pack of some different theme. And then obviously animals like opossum or raccoon. I might even put river otters. As much as I love river otters in this thing, they are kind of in that same kind of small rodent / mustelid category that I would say is pretty unlikely to be included. Similarly, I want to put all of these small cats into this category. I think mountain lion is very, very likely, and for this reason, I think animals like the Canadian lynx or the bobcat are also unlikely, because I really, really doubt that they would add multiple cats or something to the same pack. Next up, I want to talk about animals that I think are just not super likely due to some other aspects of practicality. So animals like the beaver, I think, are very unlikely due to the fact that it would be very, very impressive, but unlikely to have multiple animals with completely different rigs and movesets. It has been done before. Obviously, the aquatic pack has shown that they have been willing to do that in some cases. But when we're talking about something like California sea lion and doing an entire theme pack and stuff, I'm not really sure if they would also do beaver. Though, like I said, I have been proven wrong in the past. During Australia, I didn't think we would get both kangaroo and koala. I was totally wrong. So I think there is maybe a case that beaver is technically a possibility. I just think it would be more likely that we'd get the one big new rig like the sea lion, and then maybe a handful of unique but not so unique rig-wise animals like a peccary or an alligator. So that pretty much covers all of the animals that I think would be super notable to address. None really come off the top of my head past that. But I want to make more videos about North America coming up, because I do want to maybe talk about some of the things that have been leaked or discussed. So thank you all for watching today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to see you guys next time. So bye, everyone.